First things first, it's high time to start hitting up some happy hours, because while I can't fucking dance right now, those will be a pretty nice distraction and a good chance for me to work on, you know, social skills and building connections and getting laid and shit like that. That's all. Next is Daphne. You want to talk about countertransference? It definitely happened today. In a pretty awesome way, too. I mean, we spent like the majority of the time talking about just how disappointed and frustrated I was with my own fucking family. You know, like, flaws are flaws, but, you know, this is beyond that. This is me losing patience with the fact that despite all they've done to flee adverse circumstances, they're just putting up with that shit now. They can't be that fucking old. 60's not that fucking old. My grandma pulled better shit than they're doing right now. At 70. Wow. Just noticed some emotions welling up inside me thinking about my grandma. I think it's just now hitting me that I think that this summer's gonna be the last time that I see her. Anyway, yeah, the 10 minutes that we did spend on the inkblot test, there was one section that I adamantly disagreed with. It was the whole, you know, I have trouble explaining things in ways other people understand. That's, you know, it's reflective of my problem. It's a gross exaggeration at the same time, because I'm pretty fucking good at putting myself in other people's shoes. I mean, I'll just use Josh as an example when Kristen was potentially cheating on her, and everybody else was just like stating the same old bullshit over and over again. Like, gotta get over it, gotta get out of that relationship, blah, 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 blah. And I actually listened, asked a couple of questions, you know, pulled out the fucking salesman in me. Except I wasn't trying to sell him on anything. I was just being an even better salesman, building a fucking relationship. And, you know, if I can convince this fucking softy who can get laid whenever he wants that I understand humanity, fuck, I convinced him that even before that night. If I tell him that I understand humanity, then I don't think I'm nearly as biased as that inkblot test makes me out to be. But besides, it's two people's interpretation of it. And I think even Daphne's on board with that too. Hell, in that specific Josh situation, I convinced a third person, inadvertently, that I might know what I'm talking about when it comes to people. Because he went from spouting platitudes to just like being quiet. Almost like he had an epiphany based on what I said. Oh wait, he did. Anyway, countertransference. During that section, they noted that I had a particularly emotional reaction to a picture of a woman who bared her tits. And you know, I don't remember exactly what that image looked like or what I was doing, but fuck, I remember that moment. The analyst said that that was the only time that they ever saw any kind of emotion come out of me. That otherwise I, you know, was super analytical, and whatever emotions that I had were ones that slipped out rather than ones that I actually felt. But that one I was just being completely genuine, completely pure, and completely engaging it. And yeah, I started smiling. Daphne started smiling because, first of all, it's funny because it's true. Like, come on, tits. I'm not that fucked up that I can't appreciate those. Anyway, she was smiling because she basically came to the exact same conclusion that I'm not that fucked up, that the emotions are there. You know, the analyst said that there was a preoccupation with dating. Daphne called that a beautiful thing because I like women and I want a good one in my life. I want good ones in my life. Who doesn't? I just want them a little bit more. But here's what the countertransference happens. She's just like, you know, breasts are a nurturing thing, a stimulating thing, a sexual thing. And you know, for you, that's a beautiful thing. I'm just like, yeah, 2 of them. Or something like that. Either way, I made a lame breast joke while I was in a fucking therapy session. And I might be assigning a little bit more weight to that than there really is. But nobody forgets their first. You want to talk about building relationships? Well, guess what? I just made a funny. You know, I sought her out because I needed her to be my assistant therapist or my friend therapist, whatever. I mean, I kind of wish I had known that she was a mom of 2 kids. But it's all good. She's sister enough and friend enough. And maybe I tell her to see bad moms so that she can see what my perspective, she can see how I like to see moms. But there you go. The moment therapy sessions start to feel like I'm catching up with a friend instead of seeing a therapist is the moment that they really, I know that they've really started to work for me. That is going to continue working for me, because that's where the real fucking relationship is. I mean, right now I'm going into therapy, being my own being my own fucking psychoanalyst. Like, what am I doing analyzing myself while I'm sitting on that couch? That's her job. It's my job to just go blah. Which I have been doing, with an analytical side. I should maybe stop doing that and start focusing a little bit more on, I don't know, the raw emotion and all the fucking colloquialisms and cuss words that come along with them. The only reason why I would answer in that analytical way is if she ever asked me why. But there's no reason for me to fucking volunteer that shit anymore. Less serious conversation, more funnies. It's the vibe of therapy going forward.